beautiful friends. Welcome back to 365 Days of Love and Miracles with A Course in Miracles. My name is Arlene Geres, and I am so glad that you are here. Please remember to listen right until the very end, because we have a special treat for you. And if you enjoyed today's video, please click like and subscribe down below, because this helps others to find us on YouTube. Today's lesson is lesson number 129. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. This lesson is the hope that follows from yesterday's lesson. If we think that this world, with all of the craziness that it offers, is going to bring us happiness, by now, I'm sure you have learned that that simply is not true. Yesterday's lesson really helped us to see that. But what is this world? It is not the world that we were taught when we were young, that we had to die to go to heaven. No, heaven can be right here, right now. And today's lesson is going to help us get there. Let's read the first paragraph. This is the thought that follows from the one we practiced yesterday. You cannot stop with the idea that the world is worthless, for unless you see that there is something else to hope for, you will only be depressed. Our emphasis is not on giving up the world, but on exchanging it for what is far more satisfied, filled with joy, and capable of offering you peace. Think you this world can offer that to you? You may want to take a few minutes and just answer that question in your journal. Think you the world can offer this to you? I'm sure that you, like the rest of us, have discovered that the world is temporary. Good times don't last, but neither do the bad times. When any time that we think that any person, place, thing, or situation is going to bring us lasting happiness, we are sadly mistaken. Of course, there are situations that bring us happiness, but that always passes. Only God's world can bring us lasting happiness. Let's read on. It might be worth a little time to think once more about the value of the world. Perhaps you will concede there is no loss in letting go of all thought of value here. The world you see is merciless indeed, unstable, cruel, unconcerned with you, quick to avenge, and pitiless with hate. It gives but to rescind, and takes away all things that you have cherished for a while. No lasting love is found, for none is here. This is the world of time, where all things end. Let's talk about it. This is really talking about the world of addiction, in which we think that any person, place, thing, situation, substance, activity is going to fill this empty hole inside of us. It never does. There is no perfect partner. My partner sure isn't perfect, and I'm not either. Relationships are kind of like the ocean. At first, the highs are high, but the lows can be equally low. And so many people give up because the lows are just too difficult to overcome. Over time, it becomes more like this, where things can be very calm most of the time, but every once in a while, there's a little dip. Knowing that no person ever is meant to bring us lasting love. That can only come from God. Sometimes I get my feelings hurt, and I can feel myself shutting down. I have to go away for a bit and do some praying, do some thinking, review some of my lessons, and know that forgiveness is the answer. Forgiveness is the only way to be able to come back to that loving place for my beloved husband. And he does the same for me. That really is the key to happiness. All things of this world will eventually leave us. Buildings crumble, people die. That's just the way of the world. We know that. Only God can fill that empty spot inside of us. When we are filled up with God's love, now we're coming from a place of fullness. We can give that love instead of trying to get it from someone or something here on this earth. Let's read on. Is it a loss to find a world instead where losing is impossible, where love endures forever, hate cannot exist, and vengeance has no meaning? Is it lost to find all things you really want and know they have no ending and they will remain exactly as you want them throughout time? Yet even they will be exchanged at last for what we cannot speak of, For you go from there to where words fail entirely, into a silence where the language is unspoken and yet surely understood. Isn't this what meditation is all about? Stilling our minds, letting go of the thoughts of this world, and tuning into the thoughts of God, into a place where there are no words. There is only this most beautiful silence. We want to practice meditating on a consistent basis so that we become more and more tuned in to this world of silence where words are not spoken. Let's continue reading. Communication, unambiguous and plain as day, remains unlimited for all eternity, and God himself speaks to his Son as his Son speaks to him. Their language has no words, for what they say cannot be symbolized. Their knowledge is direct and wholly shared and wholly one. How far away from this are you who stay bound to this world, and yet how near are you when you exchange it for the world you want? Let's talk about it. It's hard to imagine how incredible it must be to be able to communicate directly with God without words. The Course tells us that our minds are literally part of God's mind, but we cannot access this if we are caught up in the thinking of the world, if we are chasing happiness in the people, places, things, and situations of this world. It's never going to happen. This is not to say that we can't enjoy the things of this world. In fact, we will enjoy them that much more when we're not holding on tight, when we're thinking that I have to have a man in my life, or I have to have a woman in my life, or I need to get rid of the man I have or the woman I have in order to be happy. None of that is true. True happiness comes when we allow ourselves to be quiet. We allow ourselves to get in tune with the mind of God. Let's keep reading. Now is the last step certain. Now you stand an instant space away from timelessness. Here you can but look forward, never back to again see the world you do not want. Here is the world that comes to take its place as you unbind your mind from little things the world sets forth to keep you prisoner. Value them not, and they will disappear. Esteem them, and they will seem real to you. What we value seems real. So if we are just holding on tight, thinking that our value comes from the things of the world, then they will seem more and more real. It's a self-perpetuating cycle. The unhappiness is going to come when these things do not satisfy, they do not fill us. Think back again to how addiction works. We distract ourselves from the pain of living in this world. We think we're going to find happiness in the bottle, in the drug, in the gambling, in the sex, in the relationship, in the shopping. That's one of my favorites. The list just keeps on going. None of these things satisfy. They are only temporary. Let's keep reading. Such is the choice. What loss can be for you in choosing not to value nothingness? This world holds nothing you really want, but what you choose instead, you want indeed. Let it be given you today. It waits but for your choosing it to take the place of all the things you seek but do not want. If we truly value the world of God, the incredible peace that comes when we accept that we are God's beloved children, we are one with all of creation and one with God, there is nothing that describes this peace. The real question is, how much do we value it? Do we value it enough to let go of the things of this world? What are you holding on to? You might want to journal on it. If there's anything that you just cannot let go of, maybe the idea of the happy ever after with the mate of your dreams. I know that's a big one for a lot of people. Are you able to let go of that idea? Are you able to open your heart and accept the incredible peace, joy, and happiness when we fully embrace that we are God's beloved children? Let's keep reading. Practice your willingness to make this change 10 minutes in the morning and at night, and once more in between. Begin with this. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. I choose to see that world instead of this, for here is nothing that I really want. Then close your eyes upon the world you see, and in the silent darkness watch the lights that are not of this world light one by one, until where one begins, another ends, losing all meaning as they blend in one. Think of each one of us holding a candle. When we gather together, thousands upon thousands upon thousands, imagine how bright that light would be. And if one of us goes away, the collective light is dimmed ever so slightly. But every time one is added, the brilliance grows more and more, and this light blends into one. We can't tell where one candle ends and the other one starts. Every one of us are needed. Your brilliance is needed. My brilliance is needed. Let every one of us shine brightly. Let's keep on reading. Now do we understand there is no loss, for we have seen its opposite at last, and we are grateful that the choice is made. Remember your decision hourly, and take a moment to confirm your choice by laying by whatever thoughts you have and dwelling briefly only upon this. The world I see holds nothing that I want. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. Let's talk about our practice sessions for today. We are asked to have 3 practice sessions, each 10 minutes long. Our morning practice, our evening practice just before bed, one more time during the day. I suggest that you schedule your 3rd practice period and put the reminder onto your phone. We are asked to start our practice period with the mantra, beyond the world, there is a world I want. I choose to see that world instead of this, for here is nothing that I really want. Then we are asked to close our eyes and simply sit and allow those candles burning brightly to come one by one and add to the brightness that is glowing in your mind, to just sit and enjoy this incredible light for about 10 minutes. For our hourly practice periods, we are asked to use the mantra, the world I see holds nothing that I want. Beyond this world is a world I do want. This will be especially helpful if you have any temptation come up today, that you apply the idea immediately. This world holds nothing that I want. Beyond this world, there is a world that I want. Thanks so much for listening right until the end, my friends. If you enjoyed today's video, please share the love. Tell others about these videos. Encourage them to start at lesson 1 and only do 1 lesson a day. Are you ready for our special treat?
Here we are at the beach. It's a glorious, glorious day. It's quite windy. It's a Sunday, so there's lots of families down here. We have some people up here where I'm standing, playing their music, beautiful Mexican music. It's just spectacular. Have a blessed day, my friends. I love you.
The world I see holds nothing that I want. Beyond this world is a world I do want. Have a glorious day, my friends. I love you.